Hey guys, welcome to my very first YouTube video. I'm kind of nervous, so please forgive me if I'm a little bit shaky or if I ramble on. I'm sorry about that, but I have wanted to start a YouTube channel for forever. And I'm a teacher. I always encourage my students to like chase after their dreams and goals, and I always kind of share with them that one of my goals is to become a YouTuber, but I always come up with like the worst excuses of why that I shouldn't. So you know what? I've decided that this year is my year. I'm just gonna do it. So my very first video for you guys, I'm doing a get ready with me look on the makeup brand Believe Beauty, and you get this stuff at the Dollar General, and I'm from the South, and you guys know there's a Dollar General everywhere. The cool thing is that all of their products are under $5. So I'll show you guys today how I do my makeup. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is primer, and I have several from them. I really like them all. I love this Radiantly Primed primer. If you like kind of that dewy look, that one is really good. It's kind of shimmery, so it kind of shows through your foundation. But since it's winter and my skin has literally been so dry, I'm going to use the Pretty and Primed Hydrating Primer. Overlook all the sticky gunk on the front of these products. If you've ever bought any Believe products, you know they all come with this big safety tag, and it leaves the awfulest place. So that's kind of annoying. But anyways, I'm going to take like a pea-sized amount of primer. And I'm just going to rub that into my face. And really get it around my nose because I've been blowing my nose like crazy lately. And my nose is so dry. Now, I did already have my face washed and my moisturizer on and things like that. So if you've got dry skin, you definitely want to use more than just a primer. Definitely use your moisturizer as well. And now I'm going to go in with the this is called the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation, and mine is in the shade Buff. So this is pretty liquidy, so I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. And honestly guys, for a foundation that's less than $5, it has a really nice pump, so I love that. When I first got it, I thought it would probably be like one of those ones that you pour out of, which is okay, but a lot of times with those, I end up getting way too much foundation. So a lot of times it just gets wasted. All right, so I like to go in and kind of just place my foundation around, kind of like this. And then I'm a makeup sponge type of gal. Believe does sell several brushes, and I have bought several of their brushes and I like them, but for putting foundation on, I just prefer a sponge because my skin is really dry. So I feel like in the winter, especially if I use a brush, it kind of just like helps kick up those flaky places on my skin. So this is just a cheap Eco Tools sponge. I think I got it at Ulta, but I think it was like $5. And you can see it gives off a really pretty skin-like finish to this foundation. Have you guys got snow where you are? I'm in Kentucky and we've had a lot of snow these past few days. So I'm a teacher too, so we've been having snow days, and my children have been about stir crazy, and I have too. And I would definitely say this is medium coverage, but if you like more full coverage, you could definitely do another layer and build it up. But I kind of like it just like this. One thing I don't have from Believe, and I didn't realize it until I was getting my stuff out to film this, I don't have a concealer. So I think they had concealer, I want to say. But they must not have had my shade because I've pretty much picked up everything I could find that I felt like it was in my shade. So I'm just going to go in with this E.L.F. This is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. This is very affordable too, like, I don't know, $5 or $6 from Walmart. And I'm just going to put a little bit under my eyes. I like this concealer. It's kind of a lightweight. It doesn't feel real heavy under the eyes. Gonna do a little bit, maybe a little bit up here. Kind of brighten my skin up. We've all kind of had this head congestion thing going on. All right, so now I'm gonna go back in with that same sponge, and I'm just gonna kind of lightly tap that in. And you can see it instantly like brightens up your under eye area. If you're like me, I have 3 kids under the age of 5, so I don't get a whole lot of sleep, so I definitely need concealer under my eyes. It's something I used to not really use a whole lot of, but as I've got older, I definitely like concealer under my eyes. And a little bit just to kind of brighten around my face. Okay, next I'm going to just set my under eye with a little bit of their powder. Believe Beauty Matte Blur Loose Powder in the color Translucent. So I'm just going to tap a little bit out in the lid and see, and go in. Guys, I use cheap brushes. This is like my E.L.F. This is one of my favorite brushes of all time. It's the E.L.F. blush brush. I have several of those. So I'm kind of just going to go under the eye a little bit. Set that concealer. And then I'm going to go kind of where I put the concealer. And you can see this powder does a really good job of kind of hiding some texture on your face. Normally I don't set my whole face, but I'm a teacher, so I have to wear a mask all day. And I found that if I kind of will set around my chin and mouth and nose, it does help my makeup to last longer. So I don't get as much makeup on my mask. So we've got our powder. Next, I like to go in with eyebrows, and they do have an eyebrow pencil. I got mine in the shade Ash Brown. It has crayon on one side and your spoolie on the other. So I just like to brush my eyebrows out. Now, my eyebrows are pretty dark, but because they are so dark, you can really see kind of where I'm missing some hair. So they're kind of patchy. So I have to kind of go in with a pencil and just kind of even them up. This pencil is very creamy, which is kind of good and bad. It's good because it does put out a lot of color, but I almost like a little bit more of like a waxy pencil because they're a little bit easier to control. This pencil you got to be careful with, or you will get too much product. Just kind of like to go in and... Do y'all have like crazy unruly brows like me? My brows just have a mind of their own. They're crazy sometimes. And then I like to go and kind of brush that out, kind of even it out a little bit. Definitely need to trim my brows. They get pretty out of control. All right, and then they have a styling brow gel. And if you have crazy brows like me, you definitely need a product like this. It just kind of, it's clear, so you're not gonna add any color, but it kind of just keeps your brows in place. And it has a little tiny spoolie, kind of like the Benefit one. It's very similar to that one, so I like it because it's a lot more affordable. And y'all know, if there's any teachers out there like me, we're pretty poor, so we go for the affordable stuff. All right. Next, I'm gonna do my eyes. Actually, you know what? Let's do our bronzer first. So, something neat that I've been kind of experimenting with from Believe Beauty is this dual-ended contour stick. I haven't really used, and I got mine in the shade Deep. I haven't really used the lighter side yet. You can see I haven't even took the sticker off of it, but it's kind of just a lighter shade, but it's it's still too dark for me to highlight with, but I got it because of the deep end. So I'm just gonna go in and contour a little bit. Now I know this looks kind of scary, especially if you're not used to contouring, but it blends out really good. Okay, so I just put a little bit where I like to contour. And now I'm gonna go in with, this is like an angled kabuki brush. This one is from Sigma. This is years ago I got into the big Sigma brush trend. So I'm just gonna go and kind of blend that out. You can see it blends out really easy, so I like that. This kind of helps to contour your face. Sometimes I do this step and sometimes I skip it and just go in with like a powder, but I figured I'd just show you guys how easy it blends today, since we're talking about the brand. And then I always kind of go back in with my same foundation sponge and just kind of help blend that in as well. Okay. The good thing too about this Eco Tool sponge is that it's kind of got this straight edge, so if you need to kind of go in and clean up your lines a little bit, makes it really easy to do that. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with a powder bronzer. This is the Believe Beauty Starstruck Marbleized bronzer in the color Golden Sienna. So I thought this was really pretty. I'll swatch it for you guys. So it's kind of a, you can see that swatch. It's a very pretty, almost a cool toned bronzer, and I really like a cool toned bronzer better than like a warm tone. So I'm just gonna kind of go around. Now I do like to tap this off, and then I sometimes will like hit it on my wrist just to kind of lighten it up because I am so fair toned. Kind of go in and bronze the same areas that I put that cream contour. And a little bit under the chin. Try to hide that double chin. Has anybody else started their New Year's diet like I have? I start one every year, and sometimes it lasts longer than others, but I'm trying, so that's what counts, right? The other day I got some blushes and I just like died when I saw these. So once again, ignore the ugly security tag, but these blushes, let's see, they're called the Major Monochrome Matte and Shimmer Blush Duo, and this one is in the shade Gallivanter. So this one is kind of like a peachy bronzy, and you can see one side's matte and one side is shimmer, and I love that because you can kind of swirl it together. And this one is in the shade Amore. I think I'm going to use this one today. It's so pretty. It's like a berry color. Love it. Now I like kind of a dewy blush, once again because my skin is dry, so I'm just taking another angled blush brush and I'm just going to kind of swirl those together, tap it off, and then hit it on my wrist again. Look how pretty that is. So swirl it together, tap it off. Ooh, I love that. So that way, if you want to wear a highlighter, if you don't want to wear a highlighter, you definitely wouldn't have to. I don't know if you can kind of see the sheen on that, but I think that's so pretty. Yes, very pretty. But I like to be extra, so I'm going to put a highlighter on top of this. Now, the two that I have from Believe, they are, let's see, this one's called On Cloud 9, and it's the Luminizing Glow Trio on Cloud 9. It's the shade, and it's so pretty. There's like 3 different shades here. This is definitely the lighter one. And then I've got another one, Sandstorm. That's a little bit darker, but still so pretty. Look at those. I'm gonna go in with this lighter one, and I'm gonna kind of go with this middle shade right here. I'm gonna go in with that same brush that I used for blush. Just kind of pop that on the top there. And guys, when you're using a highlighter, especially like a pretty shimmery highlighter, you want to kind of buff it in. So don't just like do one streak and then let it go, because it'll be really noticeable. But if you kind of buff it in a little bit, it just kind of blends in better. Okay, now let's do eyes. So I've got this Lock It In eyeshadow primer. And I think this eyeshadow primer is pretty good. I mean, it's about the same as the E.L.F. one or the Milani one. So I like to do mine all over the lid and then a little bit under, because I like to go with eyeshadow underneath my eyes as well. So just kind of press it in. Definitely don't have to use too much of this product. If you get too much, then it's probably going to crease on you. Okay. Now, my favorite eyeshadows. Guys, I have several palettes from them, but I pulled my favorite 2 to show you guys. This one, and they have 6 shades each. And this one is called the Believe Beauty Eyeshadow Palette in Nearly Nude. I'm sorry, mine's kind of dirty because I've used it a lot, but look at these shades, guys. They are so pretty. So you get 2 mattes and 4 shimmers. Ooh, they're so pretty. And they're not glittery. They're more of just a shimmer. And then this next one is called Plush Purples. Look at these. So pretty. I think I'm going to go in with the purples one today. I don't know, I'm just feeling kind of purpley today. And the thing I like about these small palettes, as opposed to like other ones that I've bought before, is that they really have like all the shades that you would need to do a complete look. So you have like a good transition color. I'm going in with this one right here in my crease. You have a good light color to do under your brow if you want. You've got the shimmers. So if you're traveling or something, you really could just throw one of these in your bag and you would be good to go. You can't say that about all eyeshadow palettes. All right, so I'm going in with my crease with this middle color. They don't have names, but it's kind of just like a taupey purple shade. So I'm just kind of building that up on my crease. And these powders, or these eyeshadows, are a little bit powdery, but all you have to do is just tap your brush off. I don't mind that at all. Okay, and then I'm gonna get a flat brush. This one, so I'm just gonna take this little small shadow brush, and I'm gonna go in with this deeper purple, the shimmer right here. And I'm gonna put that kind of on my outer lid. Hopefully you guys can see that. Then I just like to blend it up in the crease a little bit to make it blend a little bit better. If you'll tap your brush off, you don't get much fallout with these. All right, then I'm gonna go to this side and go to the outer corner. So pretty. Blend it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take that same brush that I used in my crease. Just make sure everything's blended in really well. Kind of soften that up down here. Now I'm going to take my finger, and for like shimmery shades, I always like to just take my finger, and I'm going to go into this shade right here. You can see it's pretty, and I'm going to do that like on the inner lid. Look how pretty that is. I mean, you can wet a makeup brush, and sometimes I do that, and you can still kind of get the same effect, but I think it's just easier to use my finger. So look how pretty that is. Just kind of taking it to the middle where it meets that other shade. Blending it in a little bit over top. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take just a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go in with this lightest shade here. Tap it off a little bit, and then I'm going to run that under my brow. Okay, and I'm going to take my finger again with that light shade, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner just to kind of brighten that up a little bit. Okay. Then I want to use this pretty purple in this look too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same small shader brush that I used for this shade on the outer corner. I'm just going to tap that in to the purple a little bit, tap it off, and then I'm going to go under my lash line here with it. Just for a little pop of color. So you can kind of see. That's a good way to kind of incorporate colors. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. All right, now I'm just gonna go back in with my makeup sponge, and I'm just gonna kind of clean up. I really don't even see any fallout, but I always like to kind of just brush that off and pat it in case there is any fallout. But like I said, if you'll tap your brush off, you will not get much fallout from these shadows. Okay, next I'm going to set my face with the Believe Beauty Makeup Perfecting Setting Spray. Now they had this one and they had a matte one, but since I like a more dewy look, I just got this one. This one has a super fine mist. I love it, and it just kind of sets your makeup. It doesn't really change the finish of your makeup any. So I'm going to shake it up, and then I'm just going to spray my face. If you've used any sort of powder, using a makeup setting spray will help to kind of mesh that into your skin, blend it in, not look powdery, okay? It'll also help your makeup last longer, and especially if you're like me and having to wear a mask all day, you need to use a setting spray. I used to be one that I sometimes would use a setting spray and I sometimes wouldn't. But since since COVID and I'm having to wear a mask all the time, I definitely, if there's a day that I forget setting spray, you can tell it by the end of the day. Now I'm gonna go in with eyeliner. So I love liquid liner. So they have so I picked up the liquid version, the Believe Beauty liquid liner in Midnight Jaguar. It's just their black, and you can see the tip is a felt tip. Okay, it's pretty stiff, so just keep that in mind. I tend to prefer a brush tip just because it's a little bit easier for me to use, but if you're newer to liquid liner, I don't know, a felt tip almost might be easier for you to use because it's stiff and it won't. You can kind of take it to the side and like almost lay it down and just press it, and then it gives you more of a straight line. Okay, and I always like to do a wing, so I'm just gonna go up the side a little bit. Fill my wing in. This also makes it pretty easy to wing because, like I said, you can just kind of like hold it at the angle that you want it and like stamp it almost. So, sorry guys, I'm new to this. I love watching YouTube makeup videos. I have for years, and I've wanted to start my own channel for years and years and years, and I always talk myself out of it. Oh, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the right background. And every year, so like I said, I'm a teacher, and I teach middle school, and every year we always do like a little New Year's resolution assignment in January. And I always ask the students to tell me like 5 goals that they have for the new year. And every year when I make my sample you know, my exemplar to show them, I always put on there that one of my goals is to become a YouTuber. I just love watching YouTube. I've always loved it. And every year I never follow through with it. And I finally got to thinking, like, why am I telling my students to, you know, have these big goals and stuff if I'm not even following through with my goals? So I don't know. I just decided it was time to quit making excuses and just do it. Even if nobody watches, I'm gonna do it. This makeup is just kind of my escape. It always has been. All right, now got the eyes looking pretty good. So now we're gonna go with some mascara. So I had not picked up their mascara until about a week ago, when I finally found it in stock. So I finally found the Voluminize mascara, and I found the Extended Lash Lengthening mascara. So I picked up both. So I think for today, I'm gonna try the Voluminize. I like really voluminous lashes. All right, so let's check out this brush. Ooh, I kind of like it. So it's definitely like a silicone brush, and it's kind of got like, if you turn it this way, you can kind of see it's like one of those that's a little bit bigger on each end. It's like a contour. It's got a different shape. I've never quite seen one like that. Let's try it out and see. I always like to do the back of my lashes first. It's kind of a tip. Gives you much more volume if you will coat the back of your lashes first. And I'm shocked that I really don't see many people doing that. I don't know why. I think it's because maybe a lot of people like to wear false lashes, and I don't really like, I like false lashes, but y'all, I'm a mom of 3 and I work full time. So I don't, a lot of times don't have time. Ooh, I'm really liking that mascara. That's with one coat. So let's do this side. So I'm coating the back. Now the front. I'm just kind of twisting the brush around to kind of see which angle I like the best. Wiggling it around, get it in there, get those lashes coated. It feels kind of like a drier formula, but I like that. So I think one coat looks really good actually, but I am gonna go in with another just to kind of see how it builds up. Sometimes I only have time for one coat. That's why I really appreciate a mascara that looks good after one coat. Because when I'm rushing in the mornings to get ready and get my kids out the door and get us all to school, I just don't always have time for 2 coats. But this does build up nicely. Ooh, y'all, this might be one of my new favorite mascaras. And it's under $5, so now I'm gonna go in, do my bottom lashes a little bit. What do y'all think? So lips, I do not have any lip products from this line because I don't know why really. But what I do have, I have the Believe Beauty Velvet Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Foxy. So it's kind of a neutral pink, kind of like a dusty rose. And I normally am not a fan of matte lipsticks, but once again, since COVID, and since I had to wear a mask all the time, these matte lipsticks are a lot of times the only ones that will stay and not just rub off on my mask. So I like this applicator. It's kind of a larger applicator. Alright guys, so this is my final look using the Believe Beauty makeup products from the Dollar General. Everything that I used was under $5, so a great value. If you'd like to see a wear test on this makeup, just let me know. I can definitely try to do that for you. And if you liked this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm new, so it would really mean a lot if you would subscribe and like this video. See you guys next time.